What happens to your body if you drink ginger tea every day? Did you know that a simple serving of fresh ginger contains more antioxidants than a serving of blueberries? What if I told you that ginger could provide more essential nutrients than many popular superfoods? Today, let's explore the science behind ginger's medicinal properties. Make sure to watch until the end because there are some simple tips and recipes for adding more ginger to your diet. Alleviates nausea and vomiting. Ginger is known for effectively relieving nausea and vomiting. Studies show that regularly consuming ginger can greatly reduce symptoms of travel sickness, chemotherapy side effects, and pregnancy-related nausea. Compounds like gingerol found in ginger work to soothe the digestive system and provide relief for those experiencing these discomforts. Promotes digestive health. Ginger promotes digestive health by stimulating enzyme production and enhancing gastrointestinal motility. It is a proven natural remedy for easing indigestion symptoms, including heartburn and abdominal discomfort. Ginger is a natural alternative for maintaining digestive health and alleviating various digestive tract ailments. Combats inflammation and infections. Ginger is known for its strong anti-inflammatory effects due to the presence of gingerol, a powerful compound found in the root. This compound offers therapeutic benefits for inflammatory disorders such as arthritis, osteoarthritis, and autoimmune conditions. Ginger also has bactericidal and antimicrobial properties, making it a natural immune booster for respiratory ailments like the flu, colds, asthma, and bronchitis. Drinking ginger tea with lemon is an excellent choice for preventing and relieving cold symptoms. Please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so as not to miss new informative videos. The combination of vitamin C from lemon and antioxidants from ginger boosts the immune system and reduces inflammation in the airways. Inhaling the steam from the tea helps clear nasal congestion and improves respiratory conditions. Ginger is also effective in treating oral and throat infections, including pharyngitis, tonsillitis, periodontitis, and gingivitis, proving its wide range of therapeutic benefits. Alleviates muscle and joint discomfort. Ginger is effective in relieving muscle and joint pain. Research from the University of Georgia shows that regular intake of ginger can reduce muscle pain caused by physical activity and chronic conditions such as fibromyalgia. The analgesic and anti-inflammatory properties of ginger work together to alleviate pain, providing a natural and effective way to manage discomfort. Relieves menstrual cramps. Ginger has emerged as a potential solution for the pain and discomfort caused by menstrual cramps in women. Research suggests that ginger can significantly reduce the severity of pain associated with menstrual cramps. This is because ginger contains phenolic compounds and anthocyanins, which have analgesic properties and can help relax the muscles of the uterus. In addition to relieving menstrual cramps, ginger has also been found effective in controlling migraines, making it a promising remedy for various pain-related conditions. Promotes satiety and blood sugar regulation. Recent research has shown that ginger has the potential to control blood sugar levels. Studies on animals and humans have found that ginger can improve insulin sensitivity and lower blood glucose level. In fact, consuming ginger regularly may lead to a significant decrease of around 35% in blood glucose levels. This makes ginger particularly beneficial for individuals with diabetes or prediabetes as it helps regulate blood sugar and prevents complications. However, it is important to note that ginger should be used as a supplement to a balanced diet and regular exercise rather than a replacement for them. Columbia University research reveals that ginger tea can increase the feeling of fullness, reducing hunger. This makes ginger a useful addition to weight management plans, including weight loss diets. Ginger is also known for its ability to boost calorie burning. Additionally, it can be used in a homemade isotonic drink called switchel, which combines ginger, apple cider, vinegar, honey, and water. Prevents cardiovascular diseases. Ginger has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties that promote cardiovascular health by maintaining blood pressure and supporting heart function. It has traditionally been used to treat hypertension and is often recommended as a tasty alternative to salt in diets. A study in the Journal of Cardiovascular Pharmacology investigated the effects of ginger on the heart and found that it can lower blood pressure by blocking specific calcium channels. Additionally, Ginger's antioxidants neutralize excess free radicals, preventing the oxidation of fat cells and helping to manage blood cholesterol and triglyceride levels. Enhances memory. Ginger has powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that can protect brain health by preventing oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which can contribute to cognitive decline. Research conducted by Hindawi Publishing Corporation has found that ginger can improve working memory in middle-aged women, suggesting it may have potential as a cognitive enhancer. This highlights ginger's dual role as both a culinary ingredient and a beneficial brain health supplement. Ginger is not only a versatile ingredient in cooking, but also a potent source of health benefits supported by studies and experts. With its ancient roots in traditional medicine, ginger offers a natural solution for various health concerns. Including ginger in your diet is definitely worth considering. Ginger has versatile usage options based on individual preferences. Tea. Ginger juice has two main uses as a flavor enhancer and for its health benefits. It can be extracted and added to tea and juices. Culinary uses. Fresh ginger has a spicy flavor that adds intensity to various culinary dishes like soups, stir-fries, marinades, salads, juices, and smoothies. It can be peeled and grated, sliced thinly, or chopped based on personal preference. Powdered ginger. Powdered ginger is a versatile and convenient seasoning for both sweet and savory dishes. It is commonly used in spices and masalas for gravies, curries, marinades, stews, smoothies, and tea. It is also important in baking, adding a warm, spicy flavor to gingerbread cookies and cakes. Crystallized ginger. Candied ginger is made by cooking fresh ginger with sugar, resulting in a sweet and delicious treat commonly enjoyed on its own or used in desserts. Supplements and capsules. Ginger supplements or capsules are available for those who want a concentrated intake. These capsules provide a convenient and measured dose of ginger without the need for meal preparation. Ginger essential oil. Ginger essential oil is renowned for its soothing properties. To alleviate muscle aches and rheumatic pain, it can be applied topically on the skin after diluting it with a carrier oil like coconut or almond oil. To prevent skin irritation, mix 3 to 5 drops of ginger essential oil with a tablespoon of the carrier oil before applying. When using powdered ginger, remember that it has a stronger flavor than fresh ginger. Start with a small amount and adjust to taste. How to prepare ginger tea. To prepare ginger tea, follow these simple steps. Ingredients: 2 to 3 centimeter of fresh ginger, 180 milliliter of water, optional sweeteners like sugar, honey, or maple syrup. Start by taking 2 to 3 centimeter or approximately 20 to 30 gram of fresh ginger. Slice it thinly or grate it to increase the surface area, which helps infuse more flavor. Place the ginger in a pot with about 180 milliliter of water. Bring the water to a boil, then let it simmer for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your preferred strength of flavor. For an alternative method using powdered ginger, mix 1 tablespoon of ginger powder into 1 liter of boiling water. Alternatively, for a single serving, put 1 tablespoon of grated ginger into a cup of boiling water and let it steep for about 5 minutes. Strain the tea to remove the ginger pieces or powder residue. This ginger tea is versatile. Enjoy it hot or cold. While sweeteners are optional, enjoying it as is allows you to fully appreciate its aroma and benefits. Ginger has many health benefits, but it's important to be aware of its potential side effects and risks. While consuming ginger in moderation is generally safe, excessive amounts can cause gastrointestinal problems like stomach discomfort and diarrhea, especially in individuals with gastritis. People with high blood pressure should also note that ginger may further lower blood pressure. Ginger should be avoided by individuals with gallstones, gastric ulcers, or clotting disorders. Those taking medications for high blood pressure or diabetes should consult a physician before adding ginger to their diets. Pregnant women should exercise caution as the safe dosage of ginger during pregnancy is still unknown. It is recommended to use ginger carefully and under the supervision of a healthcare provider to prevent any potential risks to the fetus. Moderation is important when consuming or using ginger. If you are new to it, Start with small amounts and pay attention to how your body reacts. This video is only for educational purposes. If you have health concerns, always consult your healthcare provider. We hope you found this video informative and helpful. I recommend watch these videos and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.